Welcome to my channel. World Scene News. Subscribe to my channel for news updates all around the world. The war in Angola ended, bringing a fragile peace to a nation that had endured decades of violence and heartbreak, but its most dangerous legacy remained hidden beneath the soil, landmines, silent and invisible, waiting to claim new victims long after the fighting had stopped. For nearly 30 years, civil war left millions of these silent killers scattered across the country, turning once fertile farmland and peaceful villages into deadly traps that threatened every step. Angola became one of the most heavily mined countries in the world. In many places, there were no maps, no warning signs, just uncertainty and fear, as survivors navigated a landscape where danger was invisible. Mines were everywhere, along paths, near water, around schools, making daily life a gamble. Children risked their lives just to play or fetch water, and parents lived in constant anxiety for their family's safety. Thousands were killed or maimed each year, and fear of a single misstep haunted an entire generation. Survivors faced not only physical wounds but also the trauma and stigma that followed. The mines crippled Angola's recovery. Farmers couldn't work their fields, refugees couldn't return home, and entire communities were left in limbo, unable to rebuild or move forward. The economic and human costs were staggering, with every explosion shattering lives and futures. Families mourned lost loved ones, and the constant threat of tragedy cast a shadow over daily life. Angola was at peace, but still at war with its own land. The beauty of the countryside was marred by the ever-present danger lurking just beneath the surface. Before any progress could be made, the country had to face this underground enemy. The task ahead was daunting, but it was the only path to true recovery. Clearing the mines was a monumental task, demanding courage, international help, and relentless determination. Deminers risked their lives every day, inch by inch, to reclaim the land for their people. The future depended on reclaiming the land, one dangerous step at a time. Each cleared field brought hope, and each safe path meant a new beginning for a community. Only by defeating this hidden threat could Angola hope to rebuild. The process was slow, but every victory over the mines was a step toward healing and renewal. The story of Angola's recovery begins with the fight to make its soil safe again, a fight for life, for hope, and for the promise of a brighter future. At the heart of Angola's paralysis was the Benguela Railway, a vital link from the Atlantic coast deep into the mineral-rich interior. For decades, this railway was the backbone of Angola's economy, carrying copper, people, and hope across hundreds of miles. Once a lifeline for trade and unity, the railway was systematically destroyed during the long years of civil war. Its tracks were torn apart, bridges bombed, and locomotives left to rust in the sun. What was once a symbol of progress became a casualty of conflict, abandoned and overgrown. The silence that settled over the railway mirrored the nation's collapse. Carriages rusted in place, stations crumbled, and the once busy line faded into memory. The heartbeat of Angola's transport was stilled, leaving scars across the landscape. Landmines haunted its entire length, turning a symbol of hope into a corridor of danger. Every step along the tracks was a risk, as thousands of hidden explosives threatened anyone who dared approach. Communities once connected by the railway were suddenly isolated. Farmers couldn't get their goods to market. Children couldn't travel to school, and families were cut off from each other. The railway's destruction deepened the wounds of war. Rebuilding the Benguela Railway became a national imperative, promising to reconnect the country and revive its shattered economy. The task was enormous, but the hope it inspired was even greater. But before any train could run, 192 major minefields along its path had to be cleared. Each mine removed was a small victory against the legacy of war. The dream of restoring the railway meant confronting thousands of hidden explosives, a painstaking process that demanded courage and patience from every deminer. This was more than engineering. It was a battle for Angola's future, a struggle to reclaim lost connections and rebuild trust in the land. Only by clearing the mines could the railway and the nation move forward. Each cleared section brought new hope to the people living along its route. The ghost train's revival depended on winning this fight against the past, and with every mile restored, Angola took another step toward healing and unity. Into this dangerous landscape stepped China, seizing an opportunity where others hesitated. Through a massive infrastructure for oil deal, China Railway Construction Corporation took on the $2 billion task of resurrecting the Benguela Railway. The first challenge, demining the entire 1,300-kilometer Galzan-Kayangtar, 300-kilometer corridor. Chinese and Angolan teams worked side by side, inching along the tracks, sweeping for mines in grueling conditions. Every meter cleared was a victory over decades of fear. The project was a calculated risk for China, offering access to Angola's oil and a showcase for its engineering might. For Angola, it was a lifeline. China's investment made the impossible possible. This partnership, forged in danger, set the stage for Angola's recovery. The railway's rebirth began with the courage to reclaim the land beneath it. Behind the headlines, the real story of the Benguela Railway's reconstruction is one of human grit. Chinese workers lived in tents surrounded by uncleared minefields, their world reduced to a fragile safe zone. The environment was hostile, venomous snakes, malaria, and relentless heat. With supply chains broken, workers grew their own food on tiny plots, forging a semblance of normalcy. Communication with home was rare, and every day brought new risks. These workers endured isolation, danger and hardship, driven by determination to finish the job. Every supply run, every survey, carried the threat of hidden mines. Their perseverance was the engine behind the railway's rebirth. They built more than tracks. They built hope in one of the world's toughest environments. The railway's success was written in sweat, sacrifice, and survival. The fight to clear Angola's landmines was a global effort, with NGOs like the Halo Trust leading the charge. Over 120,000 mines were destroyed, making projects like the railway possible. Innovation played a key role. African giant pouched rats, trained by Apopo, sniffed out explosives quickly and safely. Technology joined the fight. Armored machines and robots cleared land where humans couldn't. This multi-layered approach, human, animal, and machine, was essential for tackling such a vast problem. The work was slow, dangerous, and unglamorous, but every mine cleared meant a life saved. The Benguela Railway's revival was just one chapter in a much larger struggle. Angola's demining story is a testament to international cooperation and ingenuity. From rats to robots, every tool was needed to reclaim the land. The Benguela Railway reopened in 2015, but Angola's landmine crisis is far from over. Nearly 1,000 known minefields still threaten lives across the country, especially in the east. Tragic accidents continue, children killed by unexploded bombs, even near the capital. The cost to finish the job is high, but the cost of inaction is higher. Every year without full clearance means more lives at risk and more land lost to fear. Progress has been made, but complacency is dangerous. The international community in Angola must keep pushing to finish what they started. The railway's safe passage is a triumph, but the fields beyond remain deadly. Angola's transformation depends on clearing every last mine. True freedom will only come when the land is safe for all. The Benguela Railway is now a prize in a new global contest. In 2023, a US and EU-backed consortium took over operations, pledging billions for upgrades and expansion. This move counters China's influence and secures access to critical minerals for the West's green transition. The railway is now a front line in a modern scramble for Africa's resources. High-profile visits, like President Biden's in 2024, signal the West's commitment to African partnerships. For Angola, this competition brings both opportunity and risk. New investment could unlock the railway's full potential and boost the economy. But there's concern that mineral exports will be prioritized over local needs. Will the railway serve Angolans or just global interests? The answer will shape the nation's future. Angola stands at a crossroads, facing difficult decisions as China and the West intensify their competition for influence and resources in the country. The stakes are high, and every move is closely watched by both global powers and local communities. China's approach, offering major infrastructure like the Benguela Railway in exchange for access to Angola's rich mineral resources, brought rapid development. However, this model saddled Angola with a staggering $17 billion in debt, while giving Beijing significant control over key mineral rights and long-term economic leverage. Now, a new Western consortium has entered the scene, promising greater transparency, more local benefits, and a fresh start. Yet their arrival comes years after China's investments, and they too bring a history of broken promises and corruption scandals that have plagued previous projects across Africa. For many ordinary Angolans, the differences between these competing models are hard to see. Both sides make big promises, but daily life in rural towns and villages often remains unchanged, with hopes for real progress still unfulfilled. The Chinese-built railway, once a symbol of progress, now struggles with limited service, frequent breakdowns, and underused infrastructure. Many stations sit empty, and the full potential of the railway remains unrealized. There is renewed optimism that Western investment and technical expertise might finally get the trains running at full capacity, creating jobs and improving connectivity for Angolans across the country. But many still worry that the railway will simply become another export corridor, moving minerals and goods out of Angola while bypassing the needs of local communities and leaving them behind. Angola's leaders now face the challenge of leveraging this rivalry to secure real, lasting benefits for their people, rather than just serving foreign interests. That means demanding not just infrastructure but also jobs for Angolans, support for small businesses, and real investment in passenger services that connect communities and foster local growth. The real challenge is to avoid becoming a pawn in a global game of power and profit, and instead chart a path that puts Angola's interests first. Ultimately, Angola's vast wealth and resources must be harnessed to serve its citizens, improving lives, building communities, and securing a brighter future for generations to come. The Benguela Railway's journey mirrors Angola's own, rising from war, confronting deadly legacies, and navigating global power struggles. Its reconstruction is a symbol of hope, but the work isn't finished. Landmines still claim lives, and true progress means making the land safe for all. As foreign powers invest, Angola must ensure its resources fuel development for its people, not just profits for outsiders. This requires transparency, fighting corruption, and investing in education, health, and local economies. The railway must be a lifeline for Angolans, not just a conveyor belt for minerals. The future depends on balancing progress with people's needs and national sovereignty. The train is running again. Now it must carry Angola toward a safer, more prosperous future.